Welcome to Our Morning Take, the podcast where our goal here is to describe for you the mood that is going on in our head when we read the Bible.
It is Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, man, it's Friday. It's March the 1st, 2024. And there's a special announcement if you live in the state of North Carolina.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
It's all we've been hearing for like the last 2 weeks. Get your sports books downloaded on your phones now because we're going to start legalized gambling in North Carolina come March 1st. I'm really shocked that they didn't get it done before the Super Bowl. I really am.
Well, yeah, but people are still gambling either way.
Oh, so. March Madness is going to be altogether different in North Carolina this year.
Yeah, they're gonna emphasize March Madness.
I was telling the wife last night. Once again, y'all got to remember
which one
we are. Man, you got to be ready with the little snap thing there, so people know that you're joking. Which one? The last one. How's that?
I'm just kidding.
Number 17.
I didn't know you were Mormon. Brigham Young over here.
He said the wife. So, we always make jokes about that.
The wife. This is the wife. Like the Bible.
It reminds me of this comedian. He was telling a joke. Dave Chappelle's telling this joke about.
Oh no, you can't. Tell
yes, I can
Chappelle
tell this
joke.
one.
Okay.
And he was talking about when he was younger, he had stayed over a friend's house, you know, it's different staying at a black friend's house and a white friend's house because he said when you go to your white friend's house, everything in the house works. He says that he goes home and he's like, you guys need to step your game up because at Timmy's house, everything works. So this one day he's over there.
Wow.
He goes.
Glad Black History Month is over.
He was, it was time for him to go. And then Timmy's like, Dave, why don't you stay for dinner? And he's like, I'll think about it. And he said, so he goes in the bathroom to wash his hands. And he says, one of Timmy's mothers came in and said, David, we're having stovetop stuffing for dinner. He said one of his mothers,
yeah,
and I
was
one
like,
of
his mothers,
and it just broke the crowd up
of
when
course,
he said that because they were Mormon or something like that.
Or maybe they just had two women. Did Timmy have a dad? Oh my goodness.
That's
anyway,
right.
But yeah, they have legalized gambling in the state of North Carolina as of March 1st, and that's probably something you didn't need to hear on this podcast, but. I guess I just pointed out to the fact us to see how low our morals are.
Yeah, and it's perfectly, it's perfect you bring it up because this is the Bible Belt and this is what's going on.
Yeah, in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, so it's not the Bible Belt anymore.
Yeah, and you know what's going to be next? The ABC stores being open on Sunday. That's the next thing.
Or start to put the liquor in the grocery store too. I mean, what the heck? The only reason they're in an ABC store is so they can get the taxes on it.
There you go. They'll find a way around it.
But yeah, legalized gambling. So that's weird. Anyway, I was telling the wife, back to the story. I was telling the wife last night because we are taping this on February 12th, which is the day after the Super Bowl. I said, you realize you can bet on everything in the Super Bowl. They bet on an over and under on the national anthem. Like,
what?
Yes, the book will say, okay, so like the average national anthem, say, if you tape it, it's like 2 hours. It's like 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That's what it takes the average singer to sing the national anthem. But you can bet whether Reba McEntire will sing it under or over 2:13. Put $100 down on the over. But honestly, that was a good pay she had last night.
She did a good job,
I'm pretty sure she
too.
made the under. Yeah. But that's just amazing.
Depending on what version they sing it or how they how they sing
because like Lady Gaga, she came out, I guarantee you she made the over.
Oh, yeah.
She took forever to get through that thing.
Yeah.
And Whitney Houston's version was over. But you can bet on the coin toss. You can bet on whether it's heads or tails.
Oh, yeah.
You got a 50-50 shot. I mean, but seriously. And that's what these things are going to do. So it's not just, a lot of you might think that, I'm going to put money on North Carolina to beat Duke. No, you're going to put money on North Carolina to beat Duke, and then while you're watching the game, you're going to say how many free throws they're going to make, or the over and under on how many free throws, or what the percentage is going to be, or how many field goals they'll make. In fact, in football, they have this live thing going on where you can call the play. Like they'll give you 3 plays: a running play, passing play, a fake, run fake, and if you get the right play, You win. It's
That's insane.
Yes.
Just ways for you to throw your money away.
That's the way these sports books work now.
I'm way too tight to be a gambler.
And absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what happens though, Tim? A lot of people start out like you, but they win.
Oh yeah.
They put a little something on there and they think they've got it.
Yeah, they call it.
Because it is a huge
They call
rush.
it beginner's luck.
Yeah, because and Vegas just loves you. In fact, they want beginners to win. That's why they tell you make a $5 bet and we'll give you $100 or we'll give you $500.
Yeah.
So you're frugal, so you're like, hey, I'll put a $5 bet down. They're going to give me $100, and you would just cash the $100 in and be done. But most gamblers would not, and especially if they win the $5 bet, they'll be like, "Hey, I got $110 now." No, and it just carries on. It's like alcoholism.
Oh yeah, and it's just like I know since we already started this. When I lived in New York, because my dad, he was retired. He loved to go to the racetrack. He loved it, and he would go down there, and he knew people on the inside, but he knew how the sport ran. Obviously, we knew who controlled that in New York. And
the Boyles.
Yeah. So anyway, what he would do is he would take $50 and he'll be like, okay, whatever I make with this $50, I'll just put it in, I'll put it in my pocket. That way it's just like I'm not losing anything because I'm just
right.
And he would just go and he would go like that. But there are people like when I went to Atlantic City with my friend Jason, he lost $1,000. Then he took his rent money out of his account, and he lost that.
Yeah, because you think you're going to get it back.
He called his parents in Nebraska to wire him $5,000.
Yeah,
and this is what people do
to gamble with. By the way, to get home.
To gamble with. This is what people do.
Yeah, it is what people do. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I think we've all gone down that path, and that's just exactly what it has. So. It's just another thing that the devil has put out there to entice Christians, good Christian people, to do something that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I cover, like when I have my men's study, and there's 5 things that I always start with, and one of them is the enemy has powerful tools to distract and destroy you because he does.
Yes,
and that's a fact.
And it goes back to what you said a couple days ago when you said you cannot serve both God and mammon.
You cannot.
God and wealth, you just can't do it.
You can't.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to get into anything else of this on a Friday or not.
It's really sad, though, and like you said, that this is where we're at in North Carolina. You would you even growing up, would you ever even thought that this would be possible?
No, because I grew up in Northside Baptist Church in the 60s. We didn't wear... The ladies wore long dresses to church. They wore beautiful makeup and earrings and things like that, but it wasn't gaudy. The men all wore. Listen, I was 8 years old. I wore a suit. I wore a suit coat and a tie.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents bought me a suit, and you're going to grow out of that in a year, but it didn't matter. That's what you went to church in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even though we understand that it's not about the outward appearance, and we've if you ask me, we've gone way too much the other way of it. But I get it, because I'll be honest, even at our church here, I see a lot of casualness on Sunday morning, but I still feel like I need to wear dress slacks and a nice shirt, preferably a button-up, but, I have wore some polos, but it's a nice shirt that goes with the dress slack. Right. I'm not going to just wear jeans, but they do now. And they just like, well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. But I don't know, man. It's like a slippery slope.
Yeah, well, I'm going to touch on that because when I moved here almost 25 years ago, I was here for about 2 or 3 years, and I had never been to church. And I was invited to church by Kelly's grandma, and she's like, we got new pastors. And I'm thinking, okay, it's church. So in my mind, how I grew up, I know what church looks like. I come in and I see a guy in a white shirt and jeans, and they're like, he's the pastor. And I'm just like, you can wear jeans to church?
Yeah, why not?
And you see, I'm not the guy that
of course
gets...
you can.
I'm not the guy that gets hung up, on appearance, because everything he said stuck with me.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
Every single thing he said stuck with me.
Yeah.
I wonder who that pastor was.
Yeah, we know who that pastor is, Pastor Tim Goins. But the thing is there's nothing wrong with whatever it is.
It was just, if that's what you have, that's what you have.
But what I mean is this whole idea about the gambling and everything. Everything is just, our morals just continue to denigrate. So if it's just you wearing jeans and a shirt, great. As long as your morals are there, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've respected you for that, Tim. But you also know that a lot of them are just into the music. They're just into the show.
Yeah.
They're into the run the
experience.
Music. They're into the experience, the elevation experience.
Yeah,
I went there. So I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, we're done for a Friday.
Please go to
Off
church.
the air next week.
Read God's word and go to church.
Happy birthday, Daddy. It's my daddy's 90th birthday Sunday. Love you, Dad.